Hi guys, PJ here. Today I'm taking a look at the PC release of Grid. And now this has only just come out and on Steam it's $44.99. It seems to be getting mixed reviews, so it's sort of half and half. Now I have played a bit of it, and what I've picked up from playing it so far, before we get into all the menus and options that the game has to offer, is that it's an arcade racer. It isn't a simulation, and I believe that the reviews are a little bit saying, you know, it should be more simulation based. I mean, it does have damage, you know, car wear and tear, well, not wear and tear, but damage that can affect the car if you turn it on. So yeah, it's trying to do a little bit of simulation, but it's a thoroughbred arcade racer as far as I'm concerned. Plays well, and I think it looks well as well, but that's not why we're here, is it? We are here to look at how well it runs on this sort of spec system. Now, just a side note before we go into that, don't touch the curbs on this game. If I was going to criticise anything on the gameplay, it's the curbs. As soon as you touch them, you're going to crash. I think they need to patch it, but hey, sidetrack it. So, with that out of the way, we know it's $44.99. We know that it's basically £60 on the consoles and it's 30 FPS on the consoles, although the enhanced consoles offer a sort of 60 FPS. Sort of, because it sort of goes from 40 to 60 roughly, if you have it in that mode. Now on PC, as you can see here on an RTX card, this is the maximum graphics settings. Okay, so we got what, 92 FPS. I specifically chose this track and event because after trying them, pretty much all of them, this is the most taxing. When it rains, you're probably losing 3 to 4 FPS more, but it's you know, this is definitely the most taxing. The oval circuit tracks and the touring car tracks, they don't seem to be quite as impactful as the city ones, so it's probably loading in more geometry and stuff and causing the problem. Now the game is installed on a normal hard drive, a 7200 speed normal hard drive, mechanical hard drive, and I'm recording to a Samsung SSD. Windows 10 is installed on an Intel SSD, so we shouldn't really have any performance impact from the recording side of things. However, I will say this, if you've got the space and you've bought the game, if you want it completely flawless, put it on an SSD. And the reason is because when you're loading into a game or an online match or whatever, sometimes you'll have like a cutscene, and the cutscene plays at the same time as you are loading. Now on a mechanical drive it stutters and the sound cuts out. Not great. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't affect gameplay, but it does when you're loading in, so that is a bit of an issue. I know if I was to reinstall this, I would definitely put it on an SSD just for that, because it is quite annoying. So shouldn't really happen, you know. I mean, it caters quite nicely on the consoles, doesn't it, on a normal hard drive, a normal slow hard drive at that. But still, PC, if you've got the room, stick it on your SSD. Performance, so it didn't detect the ultra-wide when I first loaded it. I've had to manually set it to ultra-wide res. So the settings we are using, you've seen the FPS there, is, just quickly, video. There's my ultra-wide, so it's about 800,000 extra pixels over a normal 1080p display because it's ultra-wide, so bear that one in mind. So that has a bit of an impact on the FPS for me. If you're running a normal 16:9 monitor, 1080p monitor, your FPS will be probably around 8 higher than mine. Refresh rate, my monitor goes up to 74 Hz, and that's what the game's chosen for it. It'll run 60, 74. Obviously if you've got a higher, you could push higher. Maximum FPS I've got off, so we don't hamper things. There's your options. 30 all the way down at the bottom, we'll have off. VSync disabled because we need to show the correct, you know, sort of FPS basically. Advanced. So these are the very top settings, there's no higher ones. So like that one where it's stuck on high, look, there is no, I'm D-padding right, look, there is no higher than that. There's low, off, high, that's it. Same for all the rest. So these are your maximum settings as such, and that's pretty much all of them, so pretty good. What are we using? We're using 4.9 gigabytes of VRAM, looking at that, so 5 gigabytes. If you're running a GTX 970, still a popular card. Tone it down. Obviously you're going to run out of VRAM. You need 3.5 gigabytes used really. The extra 500 too slow, don't bother with it. If you're running a newer card, 1060, 1070 should be okay. Probably dial down the shadows a little bit to gain some FPS back, although we are, you know, a decent margin above 60 on this. So if we go into video, excuse me, and go straight to medium, middle of the road, yeah, so it changes everything. Look, we've got a low there, we've got smoke shadows at low, ambient occlusion off. What was on low? Skid marks. Won't change absolutely everything because a restart is needed sadly, but it does do the important stuff. So let's just do that. Apply. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what does the game look like? Well, we're on 111 FPS there. Outside view for you. Doesn't seem as taxing the outside view. Game still looks presentable, nothing special. Got your different cams there, look, bonnet cam, interior, dashboard cam, and obviously inside. So there's your FPS sort of figure for that one. It has jumped up a good 20 or 30. We are down to 4.7 gigabytes of memory there roughly. Oops, wasn't looking where I was going, was looking at the readouts. Let's have a look what else we got. So CPU 40 to 50% used, and that's pretty much across the board depending any graphics mode really. Let's just do one more. We got a good video one here. We go to ultra low. Let's go ultra low. Yeah, we're sure. Ultra low. There's ultra low. So we got FPS all over the place there, wasn't it? 107. Loads of cars on screen. We didn't have that last time, did we? Let's just get the cars out of the way. Man, I was first. That's bad. It's a very easy setting though, to be fair. So 133, 144. You saw it drop down to what, 110 when there was all the cars on the screen. I don't think the VRAM's showing correctly. We're going to need to do the restart to show the VRAM correctly. So obviously it shouldn't be using 4.8 at very low settings. Okie dokie. So ignore that, there's a glitch there with my memory counter. I mean, on Steam it says 2 gigabyte card is needed for the minimum requirement, so you know, probably go with that. I would say you'd be able to choose a mixture of medium and high for a GTX 970. Well, it certainly looks downgraded. Don't look bad, the car, but the rest of it does look a bit iffy. Now this game doesn't support RTX, okay, so no ray tracing. There is a mod available for it, but I've tried the mod and all it does is convert the dry surface roads to wet surface roads to get a reflection, so it's not really worth bothering with. I've disabled it. Pointless. Don't waste your time downloading it. It just literally gives you a wet road look. That is it. So we'll pop that back on ultra high and just quickly show you the other stuff. Gameplay, there's your controls, miles per hour, kilometers per hour, etc. That's your default field of view, and then there's all your on-screen view for all your different bits and bobs. There we go. Difficulty there, look, very easy. Has to be recording. That's my excuse. And then we've got controls. Yeah, we're on an Xbox One controller. It also supports DS4. Mouse, keyboard if you want. Not very nice on mouse, keyboard if I'm completely honest. Or a steering wheel. Plug one of them in. That works. Audio. Home cinema. Home cinema works nice. I've got it on a 2.1 satellite system, so 2 normal speakers and a sub. Engines sound good, everything's meaty. If you stick it on TV, it's really tinny, so if you are running a 3.1, I would try home cinema. Dynamic range is regular. We've got high and low there, and then obviously all your volumes to everything. And of course, Dolby Atmos is supported, so if you're lucky enough to have one of those receivers and you can run it through Dolby Atmos, do it. That must be awesome. I haven't got that. Can't try that out, so yeah, lucky guys if you've got one, give it a go. And what else? That's it really. Resume. So that's how it runs on an RTX 2060. It's a Ventus one, so it's got the factory overclock running on it. I don't feel the need to push it any higher, it seems to do the job. And a Ryzen 1600X, that's a 6 core 12 thread CPU running at 3.9 and 16 gigabytes of RAM, DDR4 RAM there. And that's it. It runs really well. I think it plays really well actually. A bit repetitive if I'm honest. You know, there's not much variation to it. The Korea's a bit hit and miss. I think it deserves more though than the sort of middle of the range reviews it's getting on Steam. I think they're sort of not giving it enough credit there. I'd probably give it a, I don't know, 6.5, 7 out of 10 sort of score. It's not Forza, but it's not bad either. It's pretty good. I enjoy it, so it's sort of worth the money. Grey market sellers have got it a lot cheaper. The cheapest I've seen it's £28 I believe, so have a search for one of them. And that concludes this video. Hopefully it's shown you what it runs like on a similar spec system to yours, and I will catch you again next time. Bye for now.